Hey everybody, I am Gary of the Elysiums. Today is October 2nd, 2025. You know what that means. Spooky time is here. Halloween is just 29 days away, and well, I should have did this video yesterday on October 1st, but I'm going to be showing my October playlist. Now, before we get to this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, like this video, feel free to share it. Now, this video, what I decided to do is pick the albums that I listen to most in October to get me more in the mood for Halloween coming up, and summer is officially over. Today, it's in the high 60s, so it finally feels somewhat cool for the first time in forever. This summer's been brutal, so hot. So these albums, I don't have any like soundtracks or compilations here. No soundtracks from horror movies or things like that. I'm not a big compilation guy, and I mean, I do have a few compilations as in like greatest hits and, from one band, but these are albums I like to listen to this time, and some of them are sentimental to me. It's not all metal. A lot of people are probably thinking it's going to be all metal because of the horror theme. It's not. There's obviously metal in there because I love metal, and as you know from this channel, I love all genres, especially metal and hard rock. But this is more of me explaining why I picked these albums, why I listen to them this time of the year, and what they mean to me. And I just kind of grabbed a bunch of random stuff that I know I listen to, and I'm just going to get into them in no order. So the first one is the Black Dahlia Murder with Nocturnal. This album, more than everything else in their catalog, I don't know what it is. I think when I got into this band, this was the first album I bought, blind buy, because what year did this come out? 2007. Yeah, the internet was around, but I didn't really go on the internet to try to listen to music and see what it sounded like. But, just that Gothic castle, whatever that is, on the cover, kind of drew me in the font. And, I found out it's this, great deathcore band. And I don't know, are they deathcore? Are they death metal? I don't know. But, some of the songs on here, like Everything Went Black, What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse, which I later found out that is from the, I think it's from the video game. Oh, I just had it in my head. I'm not, I don't play video games. I'm not a big video game guy. Castlevania. I believe that's from the game Castlevania. The title track. Cool album to throw on. It has the horror themes, like I said. Oh, I actually forgot one that I'll have to grab. So next up is going to be Paranoid by Black Sabbath. The reason for this is I actually bought this in 8th grade at Tower Records on October 31st. So that's why this always reminds me of Halloween. It was the first time I heard Electric Funeral, and I just thought that was the most evil, haunting riff I've ever heard at the time. And I just remember playing it and having a little boombox outside and giving candy out to kids and just playing this album from start to finish, replaying it over and over again. And yeah, I mean, it was the first time I've actually heard this album full and first time I actually bought this album. So it's the reason it is part of my October playlist. And yeah, besides, I mean, this is an album that I listen to probably at least twice a month just because it's so amazing. And Sabbath's one of my favorite bands. I listen to all year round, but this time of the year, it just it has more of a meaning for me. And I'm just going to grab the other CD that I forgot to grab. Here it is, and that is Horror Show by Iced Earth. If you know this album, you could probably guess why. Every song on here is named after basically a monster or a story. This is the deluxe edition, which features the other two songs on here. Transylvania, which is, one song. Transylvania, which is the cover of the Iron Maiden song, and there's an interview on here. But just the artwork from this drew me in. And again, this was a band that I didn't get into until I heard this album. This was actually, again, at Tower Records. At one of the listening stations, I saw the font, and I saw Horror Show. I read the names of the songs, and me being a huge fan of the old school Universal monsters, like the original Dracula, the original Frankenstein, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, all those original guys, Lon Chaney Jr. Yeah, this stuck out to me, and I kind of fell in love with this album. This is my favorite by far from Iced Earth. But the songs in here, we got Wolf, Damien, who's the child from The Omen, Jack, referencing Jack the Ripper, Ghost of Freedom, I'm Hotep, which is actually the name of the mummy that Boris Karloff plays. Jekyll and Hyde, we already know that story. Dragon's Child, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Phantom of the Opera Ghost. So that one's definitely why I get into that. Let's see here. Next up, we have a band out of Trenton, New Jersey. This is the Crypt Keeper 5. This is one of those self-made albums from 1998. It's a really cool horror-themed rockabilly record. Punk, I should say rockabilly with some punk in there. Well, I forget, what do they call that genre? Like the Cramps. But it's more closer to the Ramones poppiness of punk than the Cramps. But, I bought this, another blind buy. I remember seeing this years ago at a thrift store, and, excuse me, looking at that cover, and it was super cheap, and I was like, yeah, I definitely gotta buy this. Psychobilly, that was a genre that I was thinking of. So this one definitely always goes on around this type of year. And speaking of the Cramps, of course we have the Cramps. The Cramps' whole discography is amazing. I listen to them all year round. But at this time of the year, these are three I pull out the most. The debut album, Songs the Lord Taught Us. I mean, look at that cover. It's, creepy and haunting look at itself. Just awesome TV set. Garbage Man, I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Great stuff there. Then we have the follow-up here, Psychedelic Jungle. This features Goo Goo Muck, which is my favorite Cramps song, and I always loved that song before it was made popular on the Wednesday show, and it is one of their more popular songs, but the Cramps was never a household name, and neither was that song until the show Wednesday did that. And then Bad Music for Bad People. This is a compilation of just stuff from these two albums. Mainly just from those two albums. Production by Alex Chilton on some of the tracks. I mean, the artwork is absolutely amazing. I love that cover. That art right there just speaks to me. It's absolutely incredible. My favorite type of art there. And somewhat along that line, saving the better stuff for last, the Horror Pops. As you can see there, she's holding a double bass. A great, again, I guess you would call them psychobilly. More the rockabilly than punk, in my opinion. But again, the songs on here, Ghouls, Psycho Bitches Out of Hell, Baby Lou Tattoo, What's Under My Bed, Highway 55, that's a good song, yeah. Kiss, Kiss, Kill, Kill. Really good band. They didn't get as much praise as they should have. I don't know what really happened to them. I don't know if they're still around or not. But these two albums I own, and they're absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at that. Look at the artwork and this stuff. Really cool stuff. Especially if you're a horror fan. Definitely check out the Horror Pops. Twin Temples. I don't actually own anything by them, but they're another band that's along the line of Horror Pops, in my opinion. And then Huntress, Starbound Beast, with Jill Jansen, rest in peace. She actually took her life via suicide, but she was such a great singer, such a great front woman. Another band that should have been huge. I just absolutely love this album. I've never seen a video and reading about these guys in a magazine, and I bought this album in October 2013. It came out. That might have been the year I bought it, or the following year in 2014. And I just remember listening to it so much around Halloween time. And then we have these two, kind of similar. Mercyful Fate and King Diamond. Obviously, King Diamond is the lead singer of Mercyful Fate. This one, I don't think I was ready for this at the time when I got this. I originally had the Mercyful Fate, Melissa, and Don't Break the Oath twofer, which came out on Roadrunner Records. But this album cover just spoke to me, and this is the one that I fell in love with. I listen to this a lot more than Melissa. I, of course, obviously know both albums, but I mean, A Dangerous Meeting, Nightmare, The Oath, Gypsy, Come to the Sabbath. I mean, this was just pure evil to me, horror, and I absolutely loved it. And then the debut album from King Diamond, I like a lot. It features the song Halloween on it. Lurking in the Dark, Voices from the Past, Haunted. Just really cool stuff to throw on a nice spooky night, whether you're sitting by the bonfire or, you're sitting outside, of your row home and just hanging out, giving out candy, whatever. And then we have Dokken, Back for the Attack. This features Dream Warriors, which was featured in the Nightmare from Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, which came out in 1987. You have the instrumental Mr. Scary on here from George Lynch. Just such a cool album right here. Burning Like a Flame. Obviously, Dream Warriors was the big hit song on here. But, man, this album is definitely a lot heavier and a lot more technical, I should say, than the other Dokken albums. I think they really hit a good theme here. And Alice Cooper's been known to have a kind of an evil stage show throughout his career. Welcome to My Nightmare is the one that I most associate with Halloween. Obviously, we have the title track. We have the Black Widow, Department of Youth, Cold Ethel, Escape, which ends it, Devil's Food. We have Vincent Price on here speaking, just like he would do with, Thriller. I'm not featuring Thriller here. I do love the album, but to me, it's not besides the title track, which is always played at Halloween on MTV and stuff. I don't know if they still do that. But besides that album, or besides that song, I should say, the rest of the album, I don't really associate with it. But Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. To me, the title track is just haunting, and it's what it's all about. And then another band, I usually go for this, the New Order Substance. This is the compilation. I don't know, it's just one of those albums I listen to a lot in October, and it reminds me of those dark wave parties that I would go to. I know I mentioned that in another video, so that's why I always like to throw this on. I still remember listening to this, eating dinner, and with some red wine, probably a red blend or a Cabernet, something like that. It just kind of set the mood. So then we also have the Sisters of Mercy with Floodland. Lucretia, My Reflection, 1959. It's just a nice Gothic sound. Again, awesome music to throw on late at night while you're sitting by the campfire, the bonfire, just hanging outside with your friends, your neighbors, whatever. Really, real cool stuff here. Always reminds me of October. And then we have Bauhaus with, this is Volume 1, 1979 and 1983. Features their most well-known song, Bela Lugosi's Dead. And yes, that song is the main reason it's on this list, and one of the main reasons I listen to this album during October. But it's not just for that song, it's the entire album. Such a cool Gothic vibe to it. Nothing special about this CD. It's just a compilation. It's great, which is special itself. But yeah, that's why this is in here. And then the final two bands that I really get into at this time. This band I get into all year round, but these two albums are the albums I listen to most from them in October. That's the Misfits and it's the Graves Era. We got American Psycho, released in 97. We have Famous Monsters, released in 1999. This album here is just the perfect Halloween album for me. Again, a lot of the songs are horror-related, as most Misfits stuff is. But this is a different band than the Danzig era Misfits. The theme on here is just straight horror related to movies. Look at that cool poster you get inside. There's Carol Ann, which is from Poltergeist. From Hell They Came. Don't Open Till Doomsday. Dig Up Her Bones, my favorite track off of this. And then Famous Monsters. Just that album cover alone, you already know it's going to be great. You already know what you're getting into. But yeah, I love the Graves era of Misfits for this time of the year. You know, the Danzig era Misfits, I really like to have more in the summertime because I think it was summer when I really started getting all their albums rather than just the compilations and really listening to them. So for me, it's the Graves era. And this is another one. This is a bonus one to throw in. Project 1950, which is actually Misfits doing all cover songs. Monster Mash is on here, which relates this time of the year. But, like, I love those 50s songs. Then they do some of the greatest ones, like This Magic Moment, Dream Lover, Diana, Donna, Great Balls of Fire, Marie's Her Name, The Latest Flame, Only Make Believe, Runaway, You Belong to Me. And it's just the voice coming from Jerry only that makes this a little more haunting and gives it more of a Halloween vibe to it. And fun thing is, Marky Ramone actually plays drums on this album. All right, so my number one band to listen to this time of year, I almost said it. You probably guessed it. Typo Negative. You know, we have their debut album, Slow, Deep, and Hard. You know, the names of the tracks on here: Unsuccessfully Coping with the Natural Beauty of Infidelity, I Know You're Effing Someone Else. I mean, Peter Steele's voice is just haunting, and I'm sure everyone agrees that this is like the number one October band to listen to. We have The Origin, The Feces. Great album. Kill You Tonight. I Know You're Effing Someone Else. This is my favorite one of the band and my favorite one to listen to. Bloody Kisses. Absolutely incredible. Black number one. It has to get listened to all the time at this time of year. And, you know, no matter what the month or what the day, what the weather, as soon as I put that song, it just reminds me of cool weather and, you know, the Halloween time and Gothic dark vibes and all that. And this is the 2 CD deluxe edition I have. And of course, October Rust. I mean, these two go hand in hand. I prefer Bloody Kisses. This is also an amazing album. Love You to Death is absolutely incredible. Green Man, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend. The cover of Cinnamon Girl from Neil Young. We have the 2 untitled tracks on here. Yeah, these can just be on repeat. Both of these all October long, and I'm okay with that. And then, you know, I have some more from Typo Negative. This is the least worst of. You know, they really didn't have, they weren't like big radio band. You know, Black number one did have a video that was played, but they didn't title it The Greatest Hits because it's the least worst of. But there's a lot of like radio edits, like Black number one on here is only at 4 minutes and 34 seconds. There's some covers. Like there's covered Black Sabbath that was on the Nativity in Black. And then there's a lot of remixes, like a remix of Cinnamon Girl. My Girlfriend's Girlfriend, there's a cheese organ mix on here. Then we have Life is Killing Me. I Don't Want to Be Me is my favorite song off of this. Life is Killing Me itself is a great song. But this, I don't know, this doesn't have the same feel to me as, you know, Bloody Kisses or October Rust. Still a great album. It just doesn't have as dark of a feel for this time of year. Then we just have a Roadrunner, Best of Typo Negative. You know, not too much different than the least worst of. Just there's no remixes or anything on here. And it features stuff from Life is Killing Me. And then, of course, we have Dead Again. Just like Life is Killing Me, it doesn't really have the same vibe as the other albums do. It is very doomy, and you got Peter Steele's great voice on here. This is the bonus disc, the deluxe edition I have. Again, there's like some live stuff on here, which is pretty cool because you don't really get too much live stuff from Typo Negative. But yeah, I'm going to say like my number one October album is definitely this, Bloody Kisses. If you haven't heard this for some reason, go throw it on. You know, just listen to Christian Woman and Black number one, the second and third track on here, and you'll see why I'm blown away. And any Misfits fans out there that are diehard Danzig era Misfits, go listen to American Psycho for me. Remember, you're not going to get Danzig. Just think of it as a different band almost. You're going to get Doyle on guitar, Jerry only on bass, who's on Dr. Chud on drums. But just remember, try to listen to this as a newer band and not the Danzig era. And of course, check out the Hard Pops if you haven't. Great band. Whew. All right, so everyone, this is my October playlist. I'll be listening to this stuff all month long. This stuff will be on repeat. I'll probably hear Black #1 at least 50 times this year, or this month, I should say, if not more. But yeah, do me a favor. In your comments, drop some of your favorite October albums, and give me some recommendations, especially stuff close to like Horror Pops, Cramps, that psychobilly sound, Twin Temple. I absolutely love that stuff. So drop some recommendations and comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, everyone, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.